Hello, thank you so much for tuning in. I know that a lot of you guys are at work, but right now I have some free time, so I thought I would chime in and speak with you guys about something that I think some of you guys may be thinking about with this new year starting. Earlier today, I was reading a post, and it's a blog post, and the lady was talking about how, oftentimes we feel that we have lost our identity. And, in order for us to feel grounded, it's important for us to feel connected, really, and not just connected to other people, but also connected to ourselves. So today my topic is basically, just kind of getting to know you as you go about your own self journey. And oftentimes we question who we are, right? And I think that we should, because we're ever learning beings, we're forever growing, and we go through different stages in life. So we should check in with ourselves at different stages, just to make sure that we're doing good and that we're balanced and kind of seeing what we need to maybe change and get rid of, right? So I have my computer here, and I have my notes here. So if you see me looking to the side or down, that's what I'm looking at, okay? So first, let's talk about and also let me just say too that, I hope the information I'm bringing to you guys is useful. If so, please give me some likes, send me some hearts my way, share this page, and please don't forget to like the page, okay? All right. And so first we're going to talk about, why do we feel lost at times? Why do we feel like we're disconnected from ourselves, and what is co-signing that feeling for us, right? So first, let's just talk about the fact that we have so many roles. Either you're a mom, you may be if we have some guys watching, you may be a mom, a dad, husband, wife, mother, sister. We have so many different roles. And so oftentimes especially when you become parents, we tend to put others before us, right? We tend to put other people's needs before ours. And oftentimes we get so caught up in those roles to where we forget about ourselves, and I know, myself, that's easy to do when you become a parent, because you get so wrapped up in being a parent, making sure that your children's needs are met, making sure that you're trying to be the best parent that you know how to be. And it's easy to lose yourself in that parental role, because once you bring a child to this world, once you birth a life, it's like that's magnificent amongst itself, but now you're responsible for someone, and so you want to be responsible and make sure that that your baby is taken care of. And so not just for parents, but also for, individuals who are not at the point to where they're having children and, that type of thing. Sometimes it can be your career. Sometimes it can be your mate. Sometimes it can be, other life issues that are taking precedence over, you. But one thing we do have to understand is that in order for us to be our best in our other roles, we have to make sure that we are our best self. I cannot say that enough. In order for you to be the best mother, the best father, the best daughter, employee, business owner, you have to be your best self. You have to be your best self before you can be the best wife or the best girlfriend, or, you have to be your best self. Because if you're not your best self, then all of your roles will feel the deficit, right? All of your other roles are based off of who you are as a core. You can only function in those other roles as far as you can, when it comes to your abilities as your best self. I hope you guys get that. I cannot be the best therapist if I am not at my best self. I cannot be as present if I'm not present for myself. I can't be as present for you all, right? So I definitely want to be able to be present for you all. So I have to be present for myself. I have to learn how to put myself first. I have to learn how to take care of myself and have self-care and make sure that I incorporate self-care on a regular basis. So when it comes to, us often feeling lost, like I said, number one, check in and see, are you putting everybody else first? Are you putting everybody else's needs first? Because I want you to think about that old saying about when your cup runneth over, right? When you're so full of yourself, and I don't mean in an arrogant way, I don't mean in a self-centered way, but I mean full of yourself as in knowing who you are and how you function the best, then your cup will run over, and all of your roles, everybody else that's in your life will benefit from that. Your kids will benefit from you being your best self, because you will then be able to be a better mother, right? You will be able to be a better wife, a better girlfriend, if you are at your best self, or at least working on that, right? Because we're ever changing, we're ever learning. So my best self at 25 will not work for my best self at 40, right? My mindset is totally different from 25 to in 40, right? So definitely check in there. See if you are putting everybody else first and everybody else's needs first. It is nothing wrong with you putting your needs first, right? And when I say needs, I mean those well-being needs, right? Attention for yourself, the ability for you to be able to relax, the ability for you to kind of check in with yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, right? So looking at those areas to make sure that you're, really nurturing those areas to be able to be your best self, and all of your other roles will definitely benefit from that. So making sure that you're not, dismissing yourself, right? Making sure that you are checking in, chiming in with yourself to make sure that self is good, right? Okay. So next, let's look at another reason why we often feel lost or feel disconnected from ourselves is because we have so many distractions, right? We have not just social media either, right? But we need to look at our life, do like a self-assessment to see what is pulling you away, what is taking your, what's causing distraction, what's eating up your time, right? So that's number two. Are you being distracted? And that is why you can't connect to yourself and your own feelings and your own needs. This often leads to us feeling disconnected from ourselves, right? So I see someone came on, but we're talking about just reconnecting with yourself. The first step is basically you checking in to see, are you putting everybody else's needs first? Second step is trying to figure out what are those distractions that are taking you away from being able to focus on yourself. That is social media. That is any distractions that is eating up your time, taking away from yourself, and is not adding value to you. It's not adding value to your life. So making sure that these distractions are not causing you to not be able to be your best self, right? Not being able to put in the best effort in any of your roles. Third is we're looking at also life transitions can cause you to feel a sense of disconnection from yourself. Oftentimes when we lose someone, when we lose someone that we love, or if we've been through a traumatic experience, or, if you've been in like maybe even a domestic violence relationship, and your mate has always made you feel as if you were less than, right? Checking in with that, making sure that, you look at the life transitions that have happened over the years that have maybe kept you from being able to move forward in your life, right? From being able to conquer your goals and your dreams. Maybe you're stuck. Maybe you're stuck because you lost your mother, or you lost a sister, or someone important to you. So, sometimes that happens. We can get stuck, and we can often lose our way. And that means that we can also lose our connection with self. So making sure that we process, if you feel that maybe a life transition has caused you to fall off task and to cause you to disconnect from yourself, then, maybe you need to look into getting a therapist, and working with someone who can possibly help you move beyond that barrier, find some healing and some peace with that situation, so that you can be able to move forward and focus better on your well-being and, getting back to your best self. All right. So like I said, transitions is third. Life transitions. It could be you could have lost your job and you've been on that job for several years. And oftentimes we can lose our identity within our employment. Right. So we definitely want to, look into that to see if we have, a life transition that has caused us to kind of fall off of, fall off our road, our journey, and, make sure that we can get back on. And then fourth is the fourth thing that we that can also have us have a feeling of disconnect from ourselves is shame, guilt, feeling unworthy. Some of those negative thoughts that we may have about ourselves because of something we've done in the past, or because someone has told us that we're not worthy, or we're not worth anything, or no one else will want you, or, whatever the negative committee has been sharing with you over the years, and it has become ingrained in your mental, right? And once again, when we talk about shame can come from so many different areas in life. It could come from a medical condition, to where you felt that you was living close to normal life, and, a medical condition could have caused you to, either you could be in a wheelchair, or you could walk differently, or, just different things. And so, now you're feeling shameful, you're feeling embarrassed, and you don't feel like yourself. And so oftentimes we'll disconnect from that and sit in that shame and in that guilt. And so it's important for you to be able to move beyond the shame and the guilt, so that you can once again get back to self, and understand who self really is, and understand that whatever it is that has cause some changes in your life is just that, change. It doesn't define who you are. It's a simple piece of who you are. It's not your whole self. So, even just really checking in with yourself with number 4 of looking at maybe some shame, some guilt, any of the negative thoughts and beliefs that you may carry around, or have been engraved in you from parents, from an old lover, from, just you feeling that you're not doing your best, that old negative self-talk, right? The low self-esteem, all of those things can contribute to having shame and guilt, right? Maybe you've had an abortion, right? Maybe you've put up your child for adoption. Maybe you used to dance, right? Maybe you used to do whatever you needed to do to make money, and you're ashamed of it, or you feel guilt from that. Understand that nobody is perfect, so don't allow those situations to change or define, to change who you are or define who you are, right? Those are just moments in your life, moments, and that's it. They're not defining moments. See, oftentimes we have to be careful with that because we'll make just a simple moment a defining moment in our life, and it will change the trajectory of how we look at ourselves and our life at times. So let's recap. Why do we experience a loss of identity? And number one, I said by putting others first. Number two is distractions. Number three is life transitions. And number four is shame and guilt. Okay, so just kind of check in with yourself there just to see, are you guilty of any of these four reasons why you may feel a sense of loss from your own identity? And if you are, that's okay, because you can move beyond that. And so I'm going to also give you a couple of questions that you may need to ask yourself. And I want you to be mindful, like she says in the blog post, you don't have to answer these questions back to back in one day. Take some time out. Take one question and ponder on it for a couple of days, and journal on it, and try to figure out if you can find that answer. All right. And so we're going to go ahead and look at those questions that you can ask yourself to get to know yourself better. First off, the first question is, what are my strengths? Because at the end of the day, anything that we do, I definitely want to work from a strength-based perspective. And that is taking your strengths and showing you how to utilize your strengths in order to move forward and create positive change in your life, right? So we definitely want to build on top of your strengths. So what are your strengths, right? What are my strengths? And then as you move forward in this year, I want you to focus on those strengths and really work hard at letting them shine. Okay? We don't want to focus on the negative. We want to focus on the strengths. And then with that being said, we want you to think about who matters to me most? Who's my support system? Because as you move into this journey, you do need to know who's there to support you, right? Who's there to support me as I go about my self journey? Who's there to support me when I may need some assistance? Who's there to support me when I realize something about myself I may not like? Who's there to support me when I need to maybe create change and I don't know where to start with that, right? Who is there that will be willing to support me throughout this journey of getting to know myself? Because it's not always an easy one. It's not. Getting to know yourself means that you are accepting the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And that's not always easy to accept. So you definitely will need some support throughout this journey, okay? And then I'm going to have to get... Oops. Sorry about that. They were saying that the connection was bad. My light fell off, so let me put that back on here. All right, so it looked like my connection is back good. All right, so the next question. So the first question I asked you to ask yourself is, what is your strengths? Because we want to work from a strength-based perspective, right? That's your foundation. The second question I ask is basically, who is your support system? Who's going to support you throughout this journey, right? The next question will be, you taking a really good look at your foundation. What is your values and what are your morals, right? What do you believe in? And the good thing about that is that I know that we were all instilled with some good values and morals. It's just a matter of, are we living our life by them, right? Are our actions speaking to our values and morals? And today, in today's society, it's a lot of people who have disconnected from that, right? So checking in with yourself to see what is your foundation, what are your values, and what are your morals, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all connected. It's all connected. So the next question is, so far we have, what are your strengths? who's there to support you. Excuse me. What are your morals and your values? And the next question is, who provides comfort for you? Like who provides comfort, or who gives you comfort? Or even what gives you comfort, right? So what gives you comfort? Who gives you comfort? Because as you go about this self journey, you definitely want to be able to know, when you start to step out of that comfort zone, you need to know where to go back to so that you can feel comfort, right? And when I say go back, I don't mean like a step back, but I mean we all have our ways of feeling secure. So what brings you security? Because throughout this journey, you would definitely want to know, what causes you to feel secure. Because when you're really getting to know who you are at this time, it's so easy to feel unsecure, right? So making sure that you're intact with what makes you secure and who makes you secure. So that who goes back to your support system. If your support system provides security for you, then you know that you can reach out to them at any time. Right? If you want to ask yourself some questions and you may need someone just to sit next to you, hold your hands while you answer those hard questions, then what makes you feel what makes you feel comfy, what makes you feel supported, right? Okay. The next question is, what am I ashamed of? Right? Really checking in, because a lot of times when we disconnect from ourselves, like I said earlier, it's because of that shame and that guilt. It's because of something in that past that just keep holding us by the shirt, trying to pull us back there. So what is that? What are you ashamed about? What are you feeling guilty about? Because it's important for you to be able to move beyond those things when it comes to doing a self journey and getting to know yourself again, right? Sometimes some people may need to work through that in therapy. Whatever that cause is, it may be so traumatic that you may need to work through that in therapy. So don't be shameful of even going through therapy. I'm telling you, it's a golden nugget, right? It's one of those things that can definitely help you figure out who you are, right? So that question once again is, what am I ashamed of? Okay. That one is going to take some time. You are going to need your support system when you ask yourself that. And you are going to want to know what your comfort level is when you ask yourself that. But don't be afraid to move beyond your comfort level. And that is why you have your support system to be able to assist you with that. All right. So the next question is, what is my biggest failure? Right? What is my biggest failure? Is there something that I have not forgiven myself for? Right? Is this something that I can correct now? Or is this something I just need to find peace with and be able to move forward with? Okay? So the next question is, what is my biggest failure? Okay. And then after that, I want you to ask yourself, what is your biggest accomplishments? Because none of us are just full of failure. We have accomplished some things, whether big, whether small, we have accomplished some things. So it's important for us to really key in on those accomplishments, because a lot of times when we're going through things, we can often forget about them. And we need to remind ourselves of our accomplishments so we know that we do have the ability to achieve whatever it is that we want to set out to achieve, right? We'll forget about those past accomplishments, but they all count. And I mean all of them that last minute shot where your team won a game in high school. Like, that's an accomplishment, because you know the whole team was dependent on that shot. Like, that's an accomplishment. Don't forget about that. Right? As we get older, we often throw away our trophies and this and that from high school. No, that's a reminder of your accomplishment. If you throw them away, take a picture of them first and then throw them away if you don't want to keep the actual trophy. But we have to remember those accomplishments in the past, right? If we failed a class, we were able to bring that grade up and graduate from college, right? So, you know, raising your child to be a wonderful, productive young man or woman, that's an achievement, because everybody don't know how to do it. Everybody don't know how to do it. So really going back and looking at what are your accomplishments, okay? Because that right there is a self-esteem booster, and it's a quick one. So anytime you're feeling low, just thinking about what you've accomplished and even just checking in with some gratitude, what you're thankful for, it can boost your self-esteem immediately. It can also change your mood to a more positive mood immediately as well. Okay? All right. I know I'm throwing a lot of questions at you guys, but hey, it's the beginning of the year. I hope you're writing this down, but these are questions that you need to know in order to start your self journey and getting to reconnect with yourself. All right. All right, we're back. Sorry, this internet keep coming in and out. Not sure what's going on, but let's keep things rolling. All right. So, the last question that I did ask was, I wanted you to check in with yourself to figure out, you know, what have you accomplished? What are your accomplishments? What is it that you are proud of? Because that is so important, right? What are your proudest accomplishments? Okay. And so the next question, we only have 2 more left. This next question is so critical. I'm going to do a video on this one by itself. All right. Because this question is what keeps all the negativity alive. And that question is, what does your inner critic say? What does the negative committee in here say? When you are having a hard day, when you are second guessing yourself, when you are doubting yourself, do your negative committee speak louder than your positive committee? Or are you able to be, you know, pretty much optimistic, right? What does your inner critic say? Does it co-sign all of the negative self-doubt that disconnects you from who you really are, right? Does it makes you fearful to get to know who you really are? Does it make you notice some negative traits about yourself that it makes you scared to really do this journey because you're scared that they're going to outweigh the positive? Like, what does your negative critic say? Because whatever they are saying creates those thoughts and negative beliefs that keeps the negativity alive. We want to starve the negativity. So when it comes to your failures, when it comes to past shame and situations and things you've done, is your negative committee highlighting those things for you or not? And if it is, the goal here is to quiet them down, okay? Give them some popcorn so they can hush, all right? That is the goal. What does your negative critic say in here? Because if it's negativity every time life goes wrong, then we definitely got a problem. Because we don't always have to go to the negative. Life is going to happen. And we have to be able to coach ourselves to get to the positivity if it does not show up initially. Some situations you can say, well, you know what, I know that happened, but you know what, at least I'm still good. At least, you know, things are intact, this and that. Other situations, we all gonna go to the negative. But the question is, how long do you stay there? How long do you sit in that negativity? That is the question. We don't want to sit in there long. We don't want to lay down in it, get comfortable, waddle around in it. We don't want to do all of that, right? We want to be able to see it, recognize it, and like I said, acknowledge that thing, and then tell it bye. Move on, right? Don't spend the night there, okay? We just gonna visit, and then we're gonna leave, all right? So, y'all know how it is. Some of y'all did y'all family like that come this holiday. Hey, y'all. Yeah, we good. All right, we got somewhere else to go. See y'all later. Hey, but that's okay, because sometimes you got to set them boundaries, right? So, definitely take a couple of days to ponder. That one right there, you definitely got to take some time out with. That is also a good one that you can also work through with a therapist as well. And the last question is right here. What do you do to show yourself compassion and self-care? Now, I know I have given y'all a lot of questions, but it's some good ones in there. What do you do to show yourself compassion, to show yourself empathy, that you understand, right? So sometimes we may do some things and we may feel like it's out of our character. We may, kind of have some self-defeating thoughts. Some of us may just kind of beat ourselves up emotionally, right? But what do you do to show yourself compassion, understanding? Girl, some said that positive self-talk, because I'm telling you, I do it all the time, and I will do it out loud. It don't stay inside all the time. But how do you show yourself compassion, right? Do you beat up on yourself verbally? Or do you say, girl, you know what? That was a mistake. You learn from that one and keep on going, right? Like that positive compassion, that positive self-talk. You're using that to show yourself compassion. Talk it out with yourself sometimes, But what are you doing to show yourself compassion, to show yourself love, to show yourself that you do care about your well-being, that you do care about getting enough rest, that you do care about your happiness? What are you doing to show yourself compassion? See, some of us, we can show everybody else compassion but ourselves. And we really need to learn how to show ourselves some self-love. And I don't mean just buying yourself something, but really nurturing your spirit. Nurturing that little girl that lives within you, right? Showing her that she's important and that you recognize her and that you love her for her efforts and that you love her for, just pushing through. Pat yourself on the back sometimes. Don't always look for somebody else to do that. That's self-compassion. That's self-love. Showing yourself gratitude. Showing yourself that you understand that you have flaws, but you can move past them. Showing yourself that you give a damn about you. And compassion can come in so many different forms. It can be eating healthier, drinking less, right? It can be working out. It can be stop calling yourself a bitch. Just in turn, when you're talking to other girls or just whatever, right? Like literally showing yourself respect. That self-compassion is key, ladies. and gents. Okay. But it is so important for you to show yourself self-love. And if you don't know what that look like, Google it. All right? I will put some more information up later when it comes to compassion and self-love. But like I said, you can Google it. Some good information out there. Go on Pinterest and put in self-love at the top, and you will get so many different pins. Like, you can go on my real life. I have a Mission Dorothy Pinterest and a Real Life Solutions GA Pinterest page, and both of them have self-love boards. So you can go in there, and I got a lot for you, especially on the Real Life Solution page. Okay. So definitely look into that. But here's a golden nugget I want you to take away from that. For you ladies who have little girls, I want you to understand that your daughters are watching you, and I know that you know this. But I also want you to understand that she's watching you show yourself compassion and self-love. Are you showing yourself goodness, I can't get it right. This is just how important it is to me. I'm getting tongue-tied. But are you showing your daughter what showing yourself compassion and self-love looks like? Because as she gets older and matures, even at a younger age, she can still learn compassion and self-love. Right? Like I said, I hate to keep going back to this terminology, but I just don't like it. But like a lot of young girls are, bruh, you know what I'm saying, bruh? You know what I'm saying, bruh? Girl, you are not a bruh. You are a young lady. Stop calling yourself bruh. And I get it, the slang, I get it. But it's so unattractive. Stop calling yourself that B word with your girlfriends, and stop calling them that, please. Anyway, let me get back to us. But that's showing yourself compassion. It's just another small step in you showing yourself respect. And some people may not agree with me, and that is totally fine. That's totally fine. To each his own, right? I'm just giving this information to those who feel they can utilize it, and for those who cannot, don't. Keep doing what you're doing. But I don't want you to. But hey, that's up to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, as I stated, I gave you guys some questions that you may want to ask yourself. I'm going to do a very quick overview of them just in case you missed any or came in later, right? So question number 1 is, what are your strengths? Question number 2 is, who matters the most to me? Who are my support system, right? Who are my support system people? Okay. Question 3 is, what are my values and my morals? What do I believe in? Question 4 is, what or who gives me comfort, right? And I mean positive what's and who's, not alcohol, drugs, not like negatives. Okay, we want positive what's and who's, right? Positive coping skills and good people who can be of support to you, because that's the purpose there. Question 5 is, what am I ashamed of? Question 6 is, question 6 is, did I leave that question out? I think I did. Okay, I did. I left the question out. So let me add one in here. question 6 is, so question 5 is, what am I ashamed or guilty of? What do I feel ashamed or guilty about? Question 6 is, if I was not afraid or shameful, or if I did not have this guilt, I would what? You fill in the what, okay? So question 6 is, if I wasn't afraid, if I did not have this shame, if I did not feel guilty, I would, and then you fill in that question, okay? Question 7 is, what is my biggest failure? Question 8 is, what is my proudest accomplishment? Question 9 is, what does my inner critic say to me? Okay. And question 10 is, what do I do to show myself self-compassion and self-love? All right. So I want you guys to take the next couple of weeks to let these questions, focus on these questions for this month. You know, this is the start of your self journey. Focus on those questions for this month, right? Because you don't want to flood yourself with all the emotions that come with answering these questions. Give yourself some time, right? So as I said, maybe one question a week. That's a good 10 weeks, right? So that's a good little over 2 months to 2.5 months to even ask yourself these questions if it's too much for you, right? Some people will be able to fly through these kind of quick. Some of them will be able to fly through some kind of quick, and then others kind of ponder on. But do what's best for your emotional self. Do what's best and show yourself compassion and self-love by taking time to answer these questions, because some of these questions may be hard for you to answer, or you just need some time to like really ponder on them, you know, because you really want to take time out to really focus on these answers, because it's going to reveal some things about yourself that you may not have known or been able to know. I mean, that you may not have known or, or realize, really. Okay. So I hope that this video, I hope you guys enjoyed this information. I hope that this video helped you guys out with getting to know who you are here in 2018. Please, as you watch the rebroadcast of this, show me some love, give me some likes, give me some hugs, give me some love. And please, if you have not liked the page, please go back and like the page. Please share it with the page if you feel that you know another girlfriend who could benefit from this information. But once again, make sure that you just work this week from a place of self-love and self-compassion. Okay, I know this has been a long video. I know it's been breaks in there. Not sure what's going on with the internet here at the office, but looked like we had a couple of slow connection there going on. So you may have seen the breaks in the video, but I really do hope that this video caused you guys to really start thinking about yourself. Okay, this year's mission is definitely a year of is a mission of having a vision, right? And not just a vision when it comes to owning a business, but you want to have a vision when it comes to your life. A lot of people right now having vision parties. So, you know, that's another good way for you to be able to get to know you and to see it out in pictures on paper. You know, create a vision board. Okay. So we can definitely talk about vision boards later as well, and the importance of those, and you know what it means, and some people believe in it and some people don't, and you know that type of thing. But it's a very good activity to partake in. All right, so I am going to tune out. I got some documentation to do, and I need to get ready for my next client. So I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of the day. If you're watching this later on at night as a nightcap, I hope you have a fantastic night. And until next time, stay blessed. All right, show yourself some love. And when we work from love, that means our intentions are good. All right. So until next time, see y'all later. Bye.